Welcome again. This is lecture 3, English pronunciation online classes. Okay, as this is our third class, so what we did in the previous classes, so I want to recapitulate the previous lectures. Fine, so in the first we talked about the basics, and we give some solutions that how we are going to improve our pronunciation skills. Find how can we overcome those problems that we are facing. Fine, and it is very, very important and significant to bring fluency in your speaking. Fine, without having full command on English pronunciation, you can't bring fluency to your speaking. Fine, and second important thing that if you want to understand the native speakers, if you want to have chat with them, if you want to communicate to the native speakers, so you must have very good pronunciation skills. If your pronunciation is good, fine. If you have got a very good accurate pronunciation, so you can communicate to the native speakers, and when you watch English movies, English videos, documentaries, or English news channels, or English talk shows, then you would be able to understand. Fine, and if you lack pronunciation skills, if you are not having full command over English pronunciation, problems all the time. One, that you can't fluency to your speaking, and second, you can't understand the native speakers or the English people. Fine. In the second lecture, we talked about sound. There are 26 letters of English language, but there are 44 sounds. So we started with the sounds. Fine, and in the second lecture yesterday we talked about 4 sounds. Fine. Okay, now come to the previous class. Okay, so yesterday we talked about 4 sounds. Number first we talked about p sound. Fine, so p, as I told you, that this is the symbol for p. One, second, it is having 2 sounds, k and k. Kap and dochesh mehe, and as I explained it yesterday, that if it comes, it is having 3 positions. It comes at the initial position, it comes in the middle, and it comes at the final position. Fine. So whenever you find p sound at the initial position at the beginning of a word, so it is always pronounced as k, and spistargi docheshmi he. Fine. And when it comes at the middle or at the end, so then it is pronounced as k, only kap. Fine. So this was the position. Spelling patterns. It comes at the beginning, at the middle, and at the end. So like park, public. Fine. So this is at the middle. So people, and at the last jump. Okay, so these were the form of spellings. Fourth thing that we discussed, that was silent mood. Find that when, at what position or where it is supposed to be silent. Fine. So I give you the formula NTS. Okay, when it comes before, per sound comes before NT and S, then it is silent. Fine, and I give you some examples. Second, we talked about b. Okay, so this is the symbol. B is the symbol. Fine. Second, it comes at the initial position, at the middle, and at the end. Fine. Okay, like bulb, bubble, etc. These are, and it is bilabial sound. B. It is pronounced from both of the lips. Fine. And silent mood. So in two places, when M comes before B, like in bomb, come, thumb, etc., etc. Then B is silent. When B is in the final position and ma sound is before that, then B is supposed to be silent. And second, it sometimes silent before T, like in debt and doubt and settle, etc. These were the examples that I give you, and we also presented some examples. So this was sound number 2. Sound number 3 was t. Okay, so this is the symbol. T is the symbol. One second, it is having 2 sounds, t and do chashme hai, when it comes at the beginning, when it comes in the initial position, and simple t when it comes at the middle or at the end. Fine. And I told you that it is pronounced from just behind the teeth, just behind the teeth. T. Okay. Oh, okay. This is very clear. Okay. And now the silent mode. So when there are two places where it is supposed to be silent. Okay. When it, at the final position, when this pattern comes, STLE is like castle. So STLE, then T is silent there. And the other pattern are STEN, like listen, fasten. So then T is supposed to be silent there. And I give you some examples. And one thing was more, so that is combined with ja sound. So later on that I would explain that as well. The 4th sound that we discussed was da. Okay, so da, when it comes at the beginning, end, so it is like dal in Urdu or in Pashto, da sound, but it is also pronounced from just behind the teeth ridge. Okay, the tongue would come just behind the teeth. Daddy. Okay, dog. Okay, and it is sometimes in adjectives and other places it is it or it is pronounced. And one important thing that I discussed with you yesterday, that was that D is replaced by T sound. Da is replaced by T sound when we are being in this situation. Fine. Okay. Yesterday I talked about the verbs, 5 different types of verbs, but we discussed the dynamic verb in detail. So in dynamic verb means the action words. Okay, like go, attend, speak, enjoy, participate, etc., etc. Okay, so now dynamic verb is having two types. Find regular verb and irregular verb. Okay, so irregular verb, I told irregular verb means that those verbs with which we add d or ed in the second and third form of verb are automatically generated, are automatically made. Fine. So that is called regular verb. And rest irregular verb means that their second and third form are not formed by adding d or ed. And I told you that there are 4 categories. First, that all the 3 forms are different from each other, like go and gone. Second, all the 3 forms are the same, like cut. And third, the first and last are the same, like come, came, come, and third, second and third are the same, and first is different, so like bring, brought. Fine, so they are different. But the point was here in regular verb. So regular verb, when we add d or ed, so at second and third form we always find d or ed. Fine. So before that d or ed, if these 6 sounds p, ch, fa, k, sa, and sha, if they come, okay, so then that d would not be pronounced as da, that would be pronounced as t sound, t. Okay, d and t. So then not da, t would be pronounced. Okay, like stop. So at the end we have p sound. So not stopped. Okay, watch. Before ed we have ch sound. So watched. Laugh, we have fa sound, so laughed. Here we have kicked. So we have ka sound, so kicked. Here we have sa sound, so passed. And here we have sha sound, so washed. Okay, so this was a short, brief revision, recapitulation or summary of the previous class. Today we are going to talk about some more sounds, okay, and they are very interesting. We are having very interesting sounds today, and they are today the fifth sound. The fifth sound is k, okay, and you will now, we have managed the things, so okay, you will see on the screen, fine, that k, again we are having two sounds, fine. This k is the symbol. K is the symbol. Fine. We are having two sounds, k, kab, and do cheshme hai, and simple ka. So these are the two sounds, aspirated and unaspirated. Fine. K and k. Fine. Okay. Now, okay, form of spellings. Form of spelling. When you, as I told you, when it comes at the beginning, so then it is k. Kab and do cheshme hai. And when it comes at the middle or at the end, then it is simply kab sound. Fine. And it is pronounced from at the end of the mouth. Fine. Like the tongue goes back, fine, to the soft palate. To the soft palate, and it is articulated, it is produced from there, from the end of the mouth. Fine. Okay. Now, clear? Okay, so form of the spelling, first K, okay, there are different patterns of spelling. So first, that is K is in kill, it is in the beginning, at the initial position, so kill. And second form of spelling for K is CH as in chemistry, as in character, Christmas, egg, etc. So first K, second CH, also gives the sound of k sound. Then Q also gives the sound of k, like in queen, quarter, conquer, liquor, antique, etc. So Q also gives the sound of k. Okay, then C also gives the sound of k. Okay, when it is followed by one of the letters A, O, or U. You know, when C comes before A, O, or U, then it gives the sound of k. Okay, like I'll give you example, like cat, coal, cut, and fact. Okay, so this is the give of electric. Okay, last form of spelling is X. Okay, is generally pronounced as x, etc. Like box, X. So x. Okay, so the form of spelling for k is one K, second CH, k, and third Q, queen, C, cat, and X is in box. So these are five different. Comes for five different spelling patterns, spelling forms. Okay, now this was form of spellings. Okay, now where K is silent, when when K comes before N, na sound. When K comes before na sound, then it is K is silent. Fine, like in knowledge, okay, knock, need, know, etc. This word, K comes before N, so that's why then K is silent. Okay, we will discuss it later on when we will talk about na sound, in sound. So then we would discuss this point again. Fine, because it is related to that as well. Okay, so this was K. Now I would give you some more examples, some words for practice. You need to practice with me. Okay, you must, when I would produce the words, when I would pronounce the words, so you must repeat with me. Fine, like key. Initial position at it is it would be pronounced as k, care, key, kettle, cat, collar, cushion, cool, cut, curl, cave, cold, kind, cow, coil, care, course. Now cooking. The first is k with c. Okay, so that is this k, and at the middle this k. Cooking. Okay, rocky, leak. Okay, cake, okay, peck and duke. Fine. So these were some words for practice. So this was k sound. Okay. Now we would go to another sound, and this is symbol. Okay. G. Okay, this is G, small g. Small g is the symbol. Okay, small g is the symbol, and g is Urdu in Pashto we say gap. Okay, g, but it is pronounced end of the mouth. Okay, from soft palate, the tongue goes back at the end of the mouth, and it is pronounced from there g. Okay, so small g is the symbol. Okay, and g. So this is the sound. And now form of spellings. What spellings? Okay, so form of spellings. The G phoneme is generally spelled with G, small g. Okay, especially now see that the G phoneme is generally spelled with G, small g. Okay, it is spelled with G, especially when followed by one of the letters A, O, and U. Okay, or consonant when the final position is in game, G-A-M-E, game, go, good, gum, green, big, etc. So then it gives the sound of G. Okay, the G phoneme is also used when some words spelled with G-E and G-I, for instance, get, give, girl, finger, etc. So these are basically the form of spellings for G sound, G. Okay, it is represented by small g. So these were the form of spellings. You must read it out and just practice on this. Fine. So these were the form of spellings. Okay. Now another spelling pattern. The X is in the prefix x, like ex. Sometimes it is pronounced as eggs. Okay, it's generally pronounced gz. Okay, when immediately followed by a stressed or semi-stressed vowel, except a word beginning with exc. For example, exc, then like exercise, exceed, etc. So then when the spelling comes exc, then it would not give the sound of gz. But ex, when it comes only ex, so then it gives the sound of gz. Okay, like an example, okay, examine, exhausted, examination, exhibit, etc. So when ex comes alone, then it sounds gz, and when exc comes, then like in exceed, exercise, etc. So ex also gives the sound of gz. Okay, so these were the three different form of spellings for the sound g. Okay, now, okay, words for practice. There, g is sometimes silent, but that we will discuss in sound, because that mostly concerned with that sound in, like in sign. Okay, so inshallah we would discuss that there. Now some words for practice. Okay, so when I would pronounce the words, when I would present the words, so you just please repeat with me. Okay, geese, geese, give, guess, guess, God, gauze, good, goose, gum, girl, gate, goat, guide, gown, gear, anger, tiger, organ, sugar, big, egg, log, and mug. Fine. So these were the examples for g sound. Okay. So far we have talked about two sounds, k and g. Okay. So k and g. Okay. Now let's go for the next sound. Okay. Next sound. The next sound is okay, it is represented, yeah, ma, and it is nasal sound, ma. So, okay, it is represented by small m, like in Urdu and Pashto, fine, and it is nasal sound, fine. Your mouth is closed, and the air, when the air comes from the lungs, and it goes through the pharynx and the larynx. So the oral cavity is closed, okay, and the air comes through the nasal cavity, okay, through the nose. So it is it is nasal sound, okay. It is represented by small m. Okay. Now let's go to the form of spellings. Okay. So what are the forms? First, m, single m, double m, it is represented by double m as well. MB, when MB comes together, then B is silent here. MB, when MB comes together, we have already discussed this point when we were talking about B sound. So when M comes before B, and B is on the final position, then B is silent. So MB. And MN. So when M comes before N, then N is silent there. Okay, I'll give you example. Okay, in these two positions, M and B and N are silent. Small m is in man, small m. Double M, summer, SUMMER, summer. So this gives only one sound, summer. Double M gives only one sound, summer. Okay, come. So B is silent there, come. Okay, and column, N is silent there. N is on the final position and M comes before that, so then N is silent. Column, N is not pronounced there. Fine. Okay. At three position, move, make, march, may, it comes at the medial position, at the middle, like sample, among, promise, remove, important, lemon, and it comes on the final position as well, like seam, lamb, name, jam, frame, autumn. Okay, so in come, bum, etc. Here B is silent, and in column or there is other examples. So N is silent there. Fine. So these were form of spelling for sound ma. Okay. Now silent. When M is silent, however, in initial position as well, like when M comes before N. When M comes before N, like previously we discussed two examples, column. So in column, M comes before N. Autumn, in autumn also, M comes before N, so N is silent there. Here as well, here M is silent. There N was silent, here M is silent. Like, when M sometimes come before N, so then M is silent. Here like MNEMONIC, so mnemonic. Here M is silent. When M comes at the initial position, remember, when M comes before N at the initial position, then M is silent. When M comes before N at the final position, then N is silent. This is a point, remember. Okay, I would repeat again. When M comes before N at initial position, then M is silent, is in mnemonic. And when M comes before N at the final position, then N is silent, like autumn, column, etc., etc. Fine. So this was the pattern for silence, because when M is supposed to be silent, so these were the forms. Fine. Okay. Now let's go for. Okay. This was the point, and I give you some examples as well. Okay, so this was sound number 7. Okay, we discussed. Okay, so far, if you have understood, okay, if you have learned something new, if you have enjoyed the class, so please write in the comments. Write in the comments that you are learning, you are enjoying, and you are getting all the things. So write, we are learning, we are enjoying, we are getting it. Fine, everything is all right, everything is perfect, all okay. Please write in the comments. And again, I would request you that please share this video so that it may reach to as many people as possible. Fine? Okay, so this was sound number 7. So far, we talked about 3 sounds in today's class. G. Okay, M. Okay, now go to another sound. Sound number 8, okay, that is N. No, it is represented by small n. It is represented by small n. Okay, now this is the sound N. Noon, N. In Pashto, it is a nasal sound. It is produced from the nose, from the nasal cavity. Okay, the air comes out from the nasal cavity. Okay, so n. Okay, this was the sound. Okay, form of spelling. So here are different forms. Okay, you would understand the silent mood yourself automatically. Find the first. You see single n like sun. Okay, then double n comes, double n like funny, and kn. Okay, as I discussed this point when I was talking about k. When kn comes together, okay, k comes before n, then k is silent. So kn is know, knowledge, need, etc., etc. Okay, and gn, when g comes before n, then g is also silent. It's some like sign. I gave you this example earlier as well when we were talking about m. Fine. So these are the form of spellings for n, single n, kn, and gn. And these are the examples: sun, funny, know, and sign. Okay, it can come in all 3 positions. As you know, I discussed the silent pattern as well with this. When n, then k, g is silent before n, then g is silent. Fine. So these were the pattern for the silent mood. Okay, it can come in all 3 positions. It comes at the initial position, at the medial position, and at the final position. So at the initial position, like near, not, near, name, needle, north. So it comes at the initial position. Okay, at the medial position, wonder, cunning, running, hinder, and at the final position, learn, shun. So these were the words for practice, and these were different positions when it n comes. But remember that silent mood pattern. Fine, because with n, when k comes before n, so then n is silent, and when g comes before n, then g is silent. Fine. And in the previous sound, I give you the example that when m comes before n, then m is also silent, but if it is on the final, at the initial position. Fine. Okay, so these were form of spelling, silent mood, and examples words. Okay, going to discuss today sound number 9, and that is called igma sound. Okay, okay, please show it on the screen. It is like in, but the last foot of the in is a bit stretched. So this sound is called igma. In Urdu or in Pashto or in Arabic we call it ghunna. Okay, it is also a nasal sound. Okay, this is called igma sound, ghunna. Okay, now just go to the form of spellings. Okay, so most of the time, remember, most of the time it is spelled or it is pronounced as ng. You know we are having words or the words with ing form, so we always find igma sound, ghunna sound there. Ng. In the final position, ng is in the final position like sing, long, and in before later representing k and g. In before k and g, like k, ink. Okay, banker, banker, and stronger, and g like finger, etc. So these are the form of spellings for this, and there is no silent, but most of the time it comes when we are having ng at the end. Fine. And two other forms, in k and in g. Okay, it's like ink and finger, etc. So these were today we talked about five sounds. Okay, and completely so far we have talked about. I would just repeat. First, p was the first sound. Second, b was the second sound. T was the third sound, t, and d was the fourth sound. Then k, sound number 5. Then g, sound number 6. Then sound number 7. Then sound number 8, and 9 igma sounds. So these were 9 talked about so far. Okay, I hope that you would have learned a lot from these 2-3 lectures, and hope that you would practice them, you would work on that, and you would improve your pronunciation skills, and inshallah it would help you out to bring fluency in your speaking, and to understand the native speakers, to have conversation with them, to have chit-chat with them, to have group or a good discussion with the native speakers. Okay, so that would help you a lot, but you must work on your pronunciation. Inshallah, we are here to help you out. If you have any kind of question and queries, so you can write in the comment section, and inshallah I would answer your questions. Okay, now I want to tell you that you must give your feedback about the classes, that how the classes are going on. Okay, are they helping you out? Okay, are you learning something from the classes or not? Fine. Are you enjoying the classes or not? So you must give your feedback. Okay, and you can also ask questions, and then inshallah we would answer your questions. Fine. Okay. So it was all about today's class. Okay, give us feedback. Okay, you can write in the comment section. Today I took all the class in English because yesterday some of the audience, some of the students, they were complaining that you are taking the class in Urdu, and since it is an English class, that's why you must take the class in English. So I took the whole class in English. I have no problem with English language. But there were some students, they requested me that please sometimes you must switch over to Urdu or Pashto so that we may understand them. So that was for them, okay. But if all of you want me to take class in English, so I have no problem. I would take all the class in English. Fine. This was your request, and I fulfilled. I accepted your request. Fine. Second, some of you were complaining that there is disturbance, or you are not prepared for the class. So this is not the matter. I have been teaching English language for 11-12 years, so I have no problem with that. But actually this is our first time that we are taking these kind of online classes, so we haven't done that much arrangements, and we don't understand this setup, etc., etc. But later on, gradually and slowly, inshallah, the things would get more improved, and inshallah you would see and you would enjoy, you would learn a lot in the coming classes as well. Okay, so best of luck. Okay, watch these videos again and again and try to understand them, try to practice on these videos and what I have told you, what I have given you in the lecture and the notes. So you must go through them, you must practice over them, you must try to understand them. Okay, and if you don't understand something, if you face or feel any kind of difficulty and complication, so you can just ask me the questions. You just write in the comments, and inshallah at the end of the class I would answer your questions. Okay, so this was all for today. Inshallah we would see you tomorrow in the next class.